Welcome to BattleBots At Home, where you never know which bots will rise and which bots will die. We've reached the halfway point of the Fight Night format, and things are starting to heat up. Let's take a look at this special fight card. As you can see, we have such a wide variety of bots, from little guys to big names. Adorable looking bots such as Duck and Speedrun are hoping to show that appearances aren't everything. Multi-bots such as the Legends and Twice are hoping to see if multiple heads truly are better than one. And of course, for our main event, we have a battle of control. We have the Grappler bot, aptly known as Grappler, coming off a fresh win against Rotator, going against the deadly hammer saw of SawBlaze in a battle that's sure to be exciting for everyone to watch. But for our opening fight, Tombstone will take on Fall Damage in a battle of redemption. Both of these bots are top tier bots in their own right, but unfortunately both are currently 0-1. Only one can get redemption and improve to 1-1, the other will sink to 0-2. Let's head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bots battle begin. Fall Damage. Oh, Fall Damage immediately getting a flip onto Tombstone, pushing the Pulverize and flips him once again. Tombstone needs to battle back here. Oh, thrown through the air once again. Oh, and just like that, Tombstone nearly out of the arena. And right now, Tombstone seems to be stuck on the wall. And this is bad. We could get a KO. A count to start any minute now, except not really because Tombstone gets down luckily. Fall Damage. Oh, they lose tip with their flipper, and they lose the entire flipper with that exchange. And just like that, the tides have turned already. Tombstone getting its revenge. Fall Damage splattered down on its face. They can't self-right. And just like that, from a fight that was so dominant in favor of Fall Damage, the bot is being ripped apart. Oh, and I think that's it. Pieces all over the box. Tombstone showing no mercy. That escalated so quickly. And just like that, the bot's being counted out. Tombstone will go to 1-1, while Fall Damage goes to 0-2. Talk about a fight of two halves. Fall Damage being the aggressor right away, not giving Tombstone a chance to do anything, flipping them all over the place as much as they possibly can. At one point, Fall Damage got stuck on the wall, and we thought that was going to be it, but luckily Tombstone got down from there, and once that happened, the fight chain scales really quickly. Tombstone destroying the flipper of Fall Damage. Without that flipper, there was no way they could fight back, and then Tombstone did what it's best for. That spinner is one of the most destructive spinners in the game, and they just ripped Fall Damage apart like it was nothing. For our next fight, we had the return of Speedrun. In case you forgot, last time we saw Speedrun, they got completely obliterated by Spinna. Fortunately, team's been able to get the bot back together, and they're hoping to do better this time. Their new opponent will be a vertical spinner by the name of Glass. Glass is coming off a first round loss in which they lost the Barnacles by getting tipped over. Both these bots have very unique and interesting designs, but only one can get redemption. Let's head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Both these bots hoping to get their first win of the season after some devastating losses early on. Oh, speaking of losing, Speedrun loses an entire eye. Glass just taking off the eye of Speedrun. That was pretty brutal, if I do say so myself. But Speedrun retaliating by slamming into Glass, using those grabbing arms to control them around the box. Glass just getting slammed into, oh, like that, pushed into the corner, and it seems like they're getting hit with the Pulverizer. Those are some good control points. Speedrun really on top. Oh, and just as I say that, they lose their weapon once again. They lose their face as well as the grabbing arms. This is what happened to Spinna, and things could go wrong once again. But Speedrun still has that powerful drivetrain. That's their biggest weapon. You never know what can happen. Oh, just like that, Speedrun uses Glass like a ramp. They just use Glass like a ramp. I had to say it twice because it's just so insane. Speedrun just running into Glass. If they hit him enough times, they might be able to break him without a weapon. Oh, never mind. They're the one who break as their front wheels come off. They still have another set of wheels, but things aren't looking so good for Speedrun. They're falling apart once again. I don't know how durable they are. Maybe the damage wasn't fully fixed from their fight with Spinna. And right now, Glass taking advantage. Oh, and just like that, they've been shattered once again. This fight is over. Glass gets the victory. speedrun living up to its name, just being so fast and very furious, slamming in the glass with the full force of their body, trying to do damage that way, controlled as much as they possibly could, got underneath the pulverizer a few times. They lost their weapon, but they were still doing fine. They even used them as a ramp. That was some sick tricks, a 360, 80, spin, turn, flip kick or something. I don't know skateboarding references, but skateboarding doesn't matter here because glass was just too powerful. Speedrun just obliterated for the second time in a row. As we prepare for our main event, let's take a look at one of the bots that will be in it. It's a Grappler bot named, Grappler. Let's take a look. Our next matchup is definitely an interesting one. One of the bots, or I guess bots, that will be competing in this matchup is the Legends, a multi-bot comprised of tiny versions of famous robots. Unfortunately, despite their unique design, things didn't go so well in the first match as they got absolutely decimated by the full-body spinner Mr. Slice. They'll be doing better this time, however, they have a tough fight ahead of them as they'll be facing off last year's runner-up, Snake. Snake had a main event fight against Bronco, and it was pretty close, but unfortunately they couldn't get the win and are now 0-1. There's a lot on the line here. Both bots cannot afford to go 0-2, and only one can find redemption. Let's head down to the box to see who will win this matchup. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Already the runner-up immediately slams into the Legends like a truck. Just so much bigger than all them in comparison. There's a lot on the line here. Snake, the runner-up from last season, their only losses so far are to Bite Force and Bronco. Speaking of which, there's a tiny little Bronco trying to do something. They're definitely not as powerful as the real one, but they can do stuff. So can the Bite Force. And it's just a 4v1 matchup, except the one is just a very large robot. They have a big stick that can act as like a attacking stick and, a front hinge flipper. It's very versatile, but it's not helping them so far as they're getting pounded by the pulverizer. And already the Legends are doing much better than they did against Mr. Slice. In fact, a piece of Snake has fallen off. I don't know how important it was, but that's already damage points in favor of the Legends. And just right now, they're just swarming them. This is what they do. They may not be as powerful, but they have the numbers advantage, and just swarming Snake just all into the wall, and they're just getting up on them. They're getting attacked from every possible angle. They don't really know what to do. They can't focus on a singular opponent because every time they do, one hits them from behind. Bite Force is entirely stuck underneath Snake. They fixed that. And Bronco and Bite Force just dealing with Snake. Tombstone not sure what they're doing. And it's just hard keeping track of all these bots. We have 5 bots in the box. And it's just insaneness. We're about halfway through this match. And amazingly, Snake is kind of on the back foot here. This is not what I expected. You'd expect the runner-up do a lot better against a bunch of tiny little playful robots. But no, they're the ones getting pounded right now. Bite Force upside down. Oh no! Bronco just unintentionally threw their own teammate out of the arena. I think they're just trying to help flip him over, but they did it a little too hard and got him out of the arena. So that means one of the Legends is gone. I don't know how that's going to work for the judges, if that's like self-inflicted damage or not. but this is pretty bad. And the Witch Stock is upside down too, and the Legends could lose this fight due to their own stupidity, unfortunately. Oh, never mind. They're getting back into the play. Witch Stock is still upside down. Oh, Bronco sells right then this time without throwing him out of the arena. That was good. They learned from before. It's still 3 against 1, and Snake just hasn't been able to do anything. They just could not track down these tiny bots, and it's like a man trying to deal with 1,000 ants, or I guess more like 4 ants in this case. You get the point. Snake stuck on their back actually. They're having trouble self-righting. Could this be a count out? No, they self-right. The Snake really has to battle back here. They gotta use their size advantage to slam into the Legends as much as possible to try to do damage that way. But they just aren't having time to do anything. Anytime they get left alone for even a second, one of the other Legend bots come in. We're running out of time. There's only a couple seconds left on the clock, and the Legends are just showing their dominance. Sure, they lost one of the members, but that's about the worst that's happened to them. And the fight is over. This is going to the judges. I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw this matchup, I thought this was going to be a free win for Snake. A big runner-up from last year. Literally got second place. Against a bunch of smaller bots, but no, it was not as easy as I thought it would be. Snake actually really struggling at times. They just were swarmed by all these bots. It was just too many attacks at once. They just did not know what to do. At one point, Bronco launched their teammate out of the arena, so that was bad. Besides that, the Legends were pretty much unfazed. I don't know what's going to happen when we go to the judges. We have a unanimous decision. The winner is the Legends! And just like that, we may just have our biggest upset of the season so far, as last season's runner-up Snake takes a second loss to the multi-bot of the Legends. Speaking of multi-bots, our next fight features Twice. Unfortunately, things didn't go so well against Fidget and they got destroyed. They'll be facing off against Stilts, who we saw all the way back in the first episode, who instantly got flipped out of the arena by Alien. Neither of these bots have really shown what they're capable of so far, but that's about to change. Let's head down to the box. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Stilts already takes off one of the lifting arms on Twice. That was fast. And now they only have one weapon between the two of them. Using that weapon effectively. Oh, and that weapon is gone. And within less than a couple of seconds, Twice have already lost both of their lifting arms. Now it's just 2 wedge bots. But they're being effective wedge bots as they slam Stilts into the wall. Stilts trying to fight back. Trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. They already ripped off the weapons. But they need to be careful. They don't know what could possibly happen. Stilts, just throws one of the Twice twins across the box. The 2 twins doing their best. They don't have a weapon. They're doing their best here. Stilts, one of the bots has been ripped in half, and right now, half the bot has been disabled. That's it so far, and things are looking pretty bad for Twice. Although I guess it would be more like once, because there's only one of them now. Using them as a hat. Stilts just stuck on top of one of the Twice twins. Twice. And that version of Twice has fallen apart too. And I think it's safe to say this fight is over. Stilts has just destroyed these 2 mini-bots. They have really come back. They finally showed what they're capable of. And just like that, they go 1-1. It's nice to see Stilts finally show what they're capable of. We didn't get to see much of them in their first match as they got flipped out too soon. But their weapon was just deadly. They had some hiccups then and there as they got pushed by the Twice twins. But their weapon was just too powerful. They ripped them apart. They tore them in half. They just absolute domination from Stilts. When that weapon works, it is capable of mass destruction. And the Twice twins just didn't know what hit them. That was it for them. We're more than halfway through the episode, which means only one thing. We're getting closer to our main event. Let's take a look at one of the bots to be in it. It's the hammer saw of SawBlaze. In our next matchup, we have the 1-0 Fidget, who got a good win over twice earlier this season. They'll be faced off against the quacking lifter bot Duck, who unfortunately lost their first ever match to Blacksmith. With all that out of the way, let's get into the fight. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Fidget spinning up the speed. Duck already loses a wheel. That's not looking good so far. Slams Fidget into the wall, and they retaliate by ripping off their self-riding mechanism. The whole self-riding pole is off, and now Duck using that lifter, trying to do something, and they succeed. Fidget's on their side. They don't have a self-riding mechanism. They're being counted out, and in less than 18 seconds, Duck appears to have won this fight despite losing a wheel. That just goes to show that it's not the fight in the bot, it's the bot in the fight. I don't know. Quack, quack, quack. Say hello to Duck. Not too much to talk about. This fight was very quick. Duck lost the wheel, which was concerning, but that's the only thing that really happened that was bad towards them. Fidget, they got pushed around. Eventually, the self-riding pole broke just from the own impact. And without that pole, they couldn't self-ride. And Duck just needed one good lift to get them on their side and win the fight. Who would have guessed a Duck would be this lucky? Only one more fight till our main event, and believe me when I say, this is sure to be a weird one. We have the incredibly long bot known as Zero. They're currently 0-1 after just failing to do anything against EXO. They'll be going up against Very Violent, who, believe it or not, actually won a fight against a deadly vertical spinner in Jerry. Both these bots are some of the strangest machines in the competition, but when we put them together, we don't know what's going to happen. With all that out of the way, let's head down to the box. Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Two very strange robots, and one of the pods of Zero has broken off, but it's still mobile, and just like that, we appear to have a multi-bot. I don't know what the rules for this are, but I guess we're just gonna keep going. But yeah, I don't know if this was planned or it was just a weak link. But Zero is now two bots, one with the large wedge, the other one kind of by itself. Very Violent doesn't really care, even though they now have two opponents. And honestly, I'm not sure what's going on here. This is kind of insane. Very Violent just doing whatever anyways. Pushing the longest half of Zero into the pulverizer. I don't really know what the rules are for how much they need to immobilize, but whatever. The long half seems to be down for the count. But I guess we're going to keep going since the smaller half is still moving. Very Violent, just using those weird arms. They can get in all sorts of weird positions. You never know what they're going to do. It's such a strange bot. But they're doing their thing right now, pushing up against the second Zero twin. And that version of Zero is upside down. And I don't think it's self-right. And now that neither part is moving, I think it's safe to say that the fight is over. And despite this weird chain of events, Very Violent has gotten its second win and will now go 2-0. So, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure what so happened with Zero. That section just broke off. It was, maybe the fight should have been stopped, I don't really know. But it didn't matter to Very Violent. They just, using their weird appendages to do whatever, some wrestling moves, body slamming them, just pushing them into the wall. Eventually, they got the longest side immobilized. Then it was just that tiny little other bot that needed to be dealt with. Eventually, they were able to flip them over. They couldn't self-right, and that was it. Very Violent has a strange way of winning, but they do win. Alright everyone, get ready to be on the edge of your seats tonight, because we finally reached our long-awaited main event. It's the destructive hammer saw of SawBlaze, going up against the creative control bot. It's Grappler. Grappler is coming off of a win against Rotator in one of the most dominant matches we have ever seen. Grappler just controlled them around the full 3 minutes. They scored basically every single point in adjusted criteria, and Rotator never stood a chance. Grappler being one of the best control bots we've ever seen. That's why they're here. They're here to show that you don't need a dangerous weapon to win fights. As long as you got a durable bot that can control the opponent, you can win all day, every day. SawBlaze, on the other hand, has a slightly different build philosophy. Their weapon is definitely destructive, but also unique. Instead of being a normal spinner, it attacks from overhead to do damage to the vulnerable tops of their opponents. They demonstrated this perfectly by destroying Mac and Cheese in the first 5 of the season, absolutely dominating them and just tearing them apart piece by piece. Honestly, against Grappler, there's a good chance that they'll only need one good shot to do serious damage to the bot, so Grappler will want to avoid that weapon at all costs, but they might just be able to do that. They have 4 independent grabbing arms, and only really need one at a time to control SawBlaze, just get one good bite, and that might be all they need to do a repeat of that famous rotator fight. Honestly, this fight had the potential to be possibly the closest match we'll ever get. Both these bots are so dominant in their previous fights, but now they're fighting each other, and only one can go 2-0. Who will it be? We're about to find out. Let's head down to the box for our main event. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot main event begin, and already seems SawBlaze wins the ground game, getting underneath Grappler and just hammering them with that hammer saw. But Grappler, oh never mind, now they get underneath SawBlaze, and already we have a back and forth in the first 10 seconds of the match, getting a good grab on the body of SawBlaze. SawBlaze fighting back with that hammer saw. They gotta be very careful, you never know what kind of damage they can do with that. The two bots meet head to head. Oh, and a piece of SawBlaze goes flying. I don't know how that happened, but now they only have 2 forks. This could be major damage in favor of Grappler should this go to a decision, but it might not get that far. Oh, and getting behind SawBlaze once again, getting a good grab. They just perfect driving here. They know they need to avoid the front of SawBlaze, and they're doing it perfectly, getting behind. Oh, and that's why. And SawBlaze getting underneath them, flips them over. They break off one of the arms. They have 3 more. A little retaliation from that damage done by Grappler earlier. SawBlaze coming in for the kill, and they're all into the corner. This is not where Grappler wants to be. Grappler, all they get underneath SawBlaze. It is just a good back and forth fight. We're only 1 minute in, and I don't know who this fight's going to go to. SawBlaze just trying to battle back here, getting away from Grappler, pushing them into the wall, and oh, they break off the other arm, doing serious damage at hammer saw, and now here comes the pain, just bring down that hammer saw as much as they can. Grappler taking the hits well so far, but they don't want too many of those, it could end badly. Oh, just like that, and just like that, Grappler's thrown out of the arena. The fight is over. Now this was just a beautiful fight, both bots showing what they're designed to do. SawBlaze controlling Grappler, Grappler controlling SawBlaze, using their weapons effectively, and until the very end, you never knew how it was going to go. Grappler just pushing SawBlaze around whatever they could, even tore one of the wedglets off. That was pretty serious damage. But then SawBlaze did damage of their own by ripping off both of the side arms. Besides that, Grappler was doing not too badly, but eventually SawBlaze just used their superior wedge. They got underneath him, they got him out of the arena, and they win this main event fight. And just like that, another amazing night of robot fighting action has concluded. Just to recap, Fall Damage took a lot of damage in its loss to Tombstone. Speedrun wasn't fast enough to deal with Glass. The Legends got a legendary upset over Snake. Twice got double KO'd by Stilts. Duck showed what it was capable of against Fidget. Zero showed just how very violent could be. And in our main event, SawBlaze and Grappler had a good back and forth fight, but in the end, the hammer saw was the one to improve the 2-0. As always, we hope you've enjoyed the show. See you next time.